turning inside out. Beautiful move. Trying to get the shot on. He holds. He shoots. He scores! Absolutely.
The pitch. High fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives him a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races. Inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
Whoa, how about that 10-year anniversary logo that Anthony Veltri put up? We're running out of time.
How about that 11-year logo? Huh?
We'll have to see what happens with
Put
11
those young
years.
men back to work.
Well, we lost a couple recently, but we'll see. Hey, thank you for watching our live Pittsburgh Sportsline TV show in the BP TV studio, right here in the municipal building. Police stations across the hall, libraries above, mayor's office and admin, all in this building. You know where we're at. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and the greater Pittsburgh area from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, all points in between. Thank you for the likes. They're liking the page again. I think we had 6,998 likes. So we're almost at the 7K mark. I was hoping to do it before our anniversary. Then I found out another announcement. I own my Pittsburgh Sportsline channel on YouTube. Nick took almost a year to get it up there. We did the tally. He told me I had 790. I said I did some jazz networking shows with Jessica Lee and Stone Pepper's Grill. We found 10 more shows. Number 801 is tonight. We got 800 in the hopper. I'm honored to be able to tell you this is our 801st Pittsburgh Sportsline show.
That's what's up.
And then we're doing some ciphering because Smokin Jim knows that. They ciphered a little 1 + 1 = 0 and stuff like that at Gateway. Well, I've done a lot of other shows, and there's a rumor that I may have done 1,000 shows on BPTV.
You did it. You did it.
Well, they got to count the community, at Bethel Park Community Day when I interview all the vendors that want to talk, and a couple other things that I've done in Bethel Park, plus over 60, almost 70 shows with Jessica Lee.
You did some shows with Bill Neal.
No,
get you over.
that was in Pittsburgh Sportsline. There were 2 shows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That'll get you over. It won't get
Yeah.
you paid.
Now, how can we find your page? Is it public yet?
It's public as of a year ago. I
Your
didn't
YouTube
tell
page?
anybody.
Okay.
I didn't tell anybody because I posted on my Facebook page that I now own my channel. I put a link there. You can click that link and it'll take you to Pittsburgh Sportsline that I have, not the BPTV
What's it called?
Sportsline. Everybody knows I'm pretty smart, so I had to think about this one for a while. Hold your breath. PITTSBURGH space SPORTSLINE.
All right. Pittsburgh Sportsline.
Brilliant.
I read it off your shirt.
Thank you. Thank you. And you did see the logo, so it was there too.
All right, cool.
No, so that's a little self-promotion there. I'm honored to have done that many shows and
Proud
be
of
up
you.
here doing it each week.
Proud of you, Michelle.
We have so much fun doing it. I know it looks like sometimes we don't, but we all get along. We respect each other's opinions, and we're religious about it. We agree to disagree all the time.
No, we don't.
See my point? Chip come up perfectly. He's my straight man. All right. We're going to go to, well, first I got to introduce myself. Al Levine, the talking machine. Smokin Jim Frazier got Bethel Park colors, black and orange. He's supporting.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Chip Haynor's here. Nick Callis, he's going to have a segment on the VIP. He even left us. Oh, wow. We got Dave Cable's notebook. We'll play it for us in the studio here. You'll be hearing it live on the show, and we'll do that. And let's see. we start every show with what's on your mind. Smokin Jim Frazier.
You didn't go through your notes?
I didn't want to.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
We'll come back with that
Okay.
because we got some time. I figure we
Okay.
can talk a little. I'll mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Al Levine, the
But
talking
thanks for
machine.
asking.
And if you want the green, you got to see Levine. Oh, I did a one hand like that. You
I was going to say, you look like Deontay Johnson. Should have dropped it.
That was my George Pickens. But
One
hey,
catch, not
Well,
bad.
he's open 90% of the time.
Huh?
He's open 90% of the time.
Whether he's covered or not.
No, I got a little side note on that.
Yeah.
Smokin Jim had trouble seeing a couple years ago. He had cataracts. Pickens, they checked his eyesight. He was blind in both eyes.
Couldn't see out of the other one.
Really?
Yeah.
What you mean?
He's making it all up. The ball hit him in the hand. He dove out. It just hit him because he got stickum. He couldn't see it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Now, that's a whopper I wanted to pass by Smokin
Okay.
Jim Frazier.
He talked to Lester Hayes before the game.
But what's on my mind is good friend of mine, good friend of Nick, a guy named Kevin McDaniel, great athlete, comes from a great athletic family, young guy in his 50s, was cutting grass. He's a black guy, he's a union carpenter, very talented guy, cutting his grass. The day after I talked to him, dropped dead. He was
That's terrible.
He was an all-city linebacker for Peabody. Went on to play for IUP. His dad is like Al Levine, the talking machine's dad. His dad is in the City League Hall of Fame.
Nice.
And his uncle, which is his brother's son, is the head coach of the 3-0 Miami Dolphins. So we're all going to miss Kevin. He served a few years on the City League committee. Him and Bill Neal butted heads, so he stepped away. But we're all going to miss Kevin. A totally healthy guy, somebody that I text almost weekly. And I don't talk on the phone much, but we talked on the phone every now and again. So he will be missed. Rest in peace, Kevin McDaniels. We'll cheer Miami Dolphins on this year.
Will we?
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather just honor him.
Well, that's his uncle.
May he R.I.P.
You don't like his uncle?
Who's his uncle?
The head coach. I mean, his nephew is the head coach.
You're talking double
I
sides there.
can, family.
Okay.
But that's what's on my mind. Sorry to bring you down, Chip.
No, that's okay. I mean, who do you think's going to get the MVP? Is it going to be Tua? Is it going to be Lamar?
Wow. It's going to be hard to say. Maybe Jalen Hurts from Philly. Can you imagine Alabama had Tua and Hurts at the same time?
Could you imagine if they met in the Super Bowl?
Whoa.
Ooh. And I'll be
Oh,
Halloween weekend. I'll be at the Philadelphia Steeler game in Philly.
What's her name?
I'll be there.
What's her name?
But that's all I got, brother.
I just want to know her name.
Woo!
All right, Chip Haynor, what's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind? Baseball season's coming to a close. We're about 7 or 8 days away
Yes.
from the end of the season, and a couple of division races are heating up.
Yeah.
Even though the standings as we sit right now, the Mets have a 1-game lead over the Atlanta Braves, the defending champion Atlanta
Wow,
Braves.
who would think?
Mets have won 97 games, and the Braves have won 96. The Cardinals have a 6.5-game lead over the Brewers in the Central Division. And, yes, the Pirates are holding up the cellar. The Dodgers, 106 wins so far, a .693 winning percentage. Padres in contention for a wild card spot. Isn't it amazing what a couple of $100 million will buy you?
Yes.
Let's go over to the American League. Then it looks like the Yankees may hold on to the division. A 7.5-game lead. It's going to be awfully hard to lose that.
Yes.
Even though Aaron Judge is still stuck on number 60.
Yeah.
He's been there for a week. The Blue Jays look like they're going to have a wild card spot locked up, as well as the Tampa Bay Rays. But do not sleep on the Seattle Mariners. They're one game behind the Rays. The Central Division in the American League won by the Cleveland Guardians
Wow.
the day before yesterday. And in the American League West, you've got the best team in the American League, Houston Astros, 101 wins, a .656 winning percentage. But why did I bring up the end of the baseball season? Because, as it's well documented, I am a lifelong Pirate fan, as well as a season ticket holder. And yes, I did renew my season tickets for next year, and I will happily support the team. This year was an extremely painful year to be a Pirates fan. Sitting through what could potentially be a 100-loss season. We're at 57 and 97. We've got 8 games left. We've got 2 more against the Reds, one we're playing right now. One against the Reds tomorrow night. We go to 3 in St. Louis, and back here next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to finish out the season to make up for the lost series we lost at the beginning of the season.
Right.
Because the players were locked up.
So we will have Bucktober.
So, but it won't mean anything.
I know.
But that all being said, watching what the Pirates did this year, kind of a little bit reminiscent of 2010, with an exception. There is hope for the future with this team. Looking at what the Pirates have done, and I know there are going to be people that are going to make some kind of snide remark regarding Pirates management, and I don't mean to. And people are entitled to their opinions. I don't pay any mind to them. It's just background noise as far as I'm concerned. But looking at what the Pirates have done, they have used over 140 players this year.
That many.
That is how many players they brought up. Now, what did this do to the Pirates besides give them 97 losses right now? Pirates got rid of some dead wood out of their organization.
Yeah.
I know Ben Cherington and Derek Shelton have said that they need to get a lot of good, talented players and get them into their system. Well, they did that. A lot of players made it into the major leagues this year, which never would have happened had we wasted money on aging free agents who are playing out the end of their careers. But there was some excitement. There was some disastrous episodes. We lost games by several touchdowns. But
I was there once, 16-0.
yeah, and I was at more than one myself. But the one thing that I do see as being hope for the Pirates for the future is it looks like the skeleton of a starting rotation may start developing itself with some of these young arms.
Wow, that'd
Mitch
be great.
Keller, since the end of May, when he came back and was put back into the starting rotation, has an ERA of 3.25.
Nice.
This year, even though he's got a losing record, his ERA for the season now is 3.9 something.
Wow.
Which, last year his ERA was 6.18. So there has been signs of improvement for Mitch Keller. Roansy Contreras looks like he's going to be a candidate. 22 years old. The kid can throw in the high 90s. He's got an unhittable slider. Luis Ortiz, somebody they just brought up that's only pitched 2 or 3 games in the major leagues, has showed some promise. And Ovidio, I don't know what his first name is. He's one of the guys that we picked up from the St. Louis Cardinals for Jose Quintana. And he's pitched very well his last few outings. Watched him pitch his 7 innings of shutout baseball on Saturday night. So there is some hope for the pitching staff. Now, on the dark side of that one, the bullpen has been nothing short of a disaster.
Yeah.
A 7 or an 8 run lead may not even be enough with that. Will Crow has been horrible. The last 2 outings he had, he faced 10 batters. He got 1 out, and he gave up 7 runs. He's the one that gave up the walk-off grand slam to the Mets or the Yankees last week. There are some signs. Now the Pirates do need some help. Brian Hayes, awesome fielding third baseman. He needs to spend some time with the hitting coach, become more consistent at bats. Instead of him hitting 230 or 240, he would be much more beneficial to the team batting 270 or 280.
Yeah.
And that can only happen by working. O'Neal Cruz. O'Neal Cruz has proven that he is a major league shortstop. And
Coming from you, that means so much.
You know, well, you know, it's 6'7". I didn't know if he could do it. At one time, his average was down to 180. Last night, he went 4 for 5, brought his average up to 225. He's hit 17 home runs. So, you know, our middle infield seems to be set with Rodolfo Castro, who's been playing a solid second base. Pirates need a first baseman.
Yeah.
They're trying everybody. Sad to see them DFA Michael Chavis this year. They DFA'd him yesterday. He played an adequate first base. I think he would be good as a platoon player.
Okay.
But we need a left-handed
need a
bat
guy,
playing
yeah.
first base. Jack Sawinski came up from the Double-A Altoona curve and has performed well. He's hit 18 home runs,
Nice.
15 of them at PNC Park.
There you go.
Last night he hit 2 doubles and was the spark plug for the Pirates' 8-3 win over the Reds. You've got Brian Reynolds, who started off the year badly but has recovered quite well. Has hit 25 home runs.
Right.
So you know there are some hopes there, and you know the comment that people will make, well, these players will only be here for a few years. Well, let me just clue everybody in on something. This is not a Bob Nutting thing. This is not a Pittsburgh Pirates thing. Look around Major League Baseball. Players at maximum will spend 5 to 6 years on any given team before the team trades them, before they lose them to free agency and get nothing. Every single team in the major leagues does this.
Yeah.
The Pirates are not unique to this situation. And you know what? Accept the fact that players aren't going to be here for 18 years. We're going to have them 4 or 5 years at best, and you got to do the best, make the most of them while you can. And then when
Chip,
you're done with them, get as much as you can
I
back.
got to interrupt you. This is the first time ever on Pittsburgh Sportsline that we normally break from the Pittsburgh media because we don't drink their Kool-Aid. But you heard it from Chip that we're not the only ones that do what we do.
I mean, look around Major League
I just had to
Baseball.
put it out. No fun meant, Chip.
Yeah,
but
no, I mean,
facts.
you look around baseball. It's a fact.
Yeah.
It's a fact. So, you know, I like to think next year should be a more competitive year for the Pittsburgh Pirates. You know, if we hit 60 wins this year, it'll be a miracle. You know, but I'm looking next year. I would like to see. I would like to think that the Pirates will win at least 70.
Whoa, now you're talking, baby. Don't even ask Smokin Jim about first base.
I got a question.
Sure.
Did Pujols ever test positive?
For water.
I wasn't sure.
Well,
No,
Bonds,
since
they never checked them.
Since they started testing in 2005, the answer to that question is no.
Okay.
Okay, Bonds never tested positive when they started testing in 2005, even though he admitted to using them,
Clear.
the clear and the cream
Yeah.
and the cream.
Yeah.
Even though he admitted using them, but he begged on. I didn't know what they were.
So as far as we know, Pujols is clean.
Pujols is clean.
Why would you ask that?
No,
And
it's
just-
just because he hit 700 home runs and I didn't know.
And
You didn't ask
go
that
to the
about.
just the
experts.
tease.
You didn't ask about Hank Aaron.
Yeah, he was clean.
more on Albert Pujols in Chip's trivia.
All right.
Whoa, a little tease there. All right, no, that's good. Hey, Amy says, hi, Chip. Hi, Smokin Jim.
Hi, Amy.
She forgot about me, and she goes, Smokin Jim, I like your Bethel Park orange and black shirt and pants. You look so nice.
Anything with the police on it, I buy.
I saw when he
support the
bought that
police.
for $1.50 the other day.
Support
And then
the police.
Ralph Williams goes, hello, guys.
That's my man.
And he also said, Smokin Jim going hunting?
Hey, Ralph, he is, but not for what you think.
Shout out to Ralph with all his shows he does on PCTV. He can tell us where and when. And Amy reports, because she doesn't realize we follow the Buccos, Pirates are losing 1-0 against the Reds.
What a surprise.
Thanks, Amy. You made Smokin Jim smile. He's trying to, he supposedly bet, like I never saw any paper on this. He supposedly bet at
Neither
least,
did his bookie.
yeah. He supposedly, for the third time, bet $250 that the Buccos would lose over 100 games. Now, we never saw it in writing, never saw what the payoff is. We really don't know. But he's happy right now, Amy, because you said that they're losing.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to go to my promos right now. I want to shout out to our friends that watch us. We got Steve here, who doesn't even work at BPTV. He's the MVP of BPTV, and he came back from work from Cranberry, and look at what he did here. Look at this. Look at the close-up. Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Frank Fanero sponsors our show. Frank said to say hi to everybody. Enjoy the pizza and hoagie, and he goes, have a good show. Our 801st show will be a good one. I feel it. Call 412-831-1900. He gives us an XL pepperoni pizza, steak hoagie cut in 6 slices. It's almost all gone. Smokin Jim won't have anything for the ride home, or I mean not his home, to New Kent. They have great desserts, great pasta, great salads, you name it, even desserts. But give them a call. Tell them the talking machine sent you to Olive Oil's Pizzeria. All right. We end each show with Stay Joey Strong. There's a little pause. There it is. Look at that close-up young Joey without DIPG. Right below that is Joey when he got the dreaded brain cancer, DIPG. He died 8 years ago at the age of 8 years old, right before his 9th birthday. Very sad. His family started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. You can donate as little as $1. It's a 501c3. Smokin Jim learned this last year. You can write it off on your taxes. Not picking on Smokin Jim, but he constantly asked Steve if he would do his taxes. And his answer is no.
Yeah.
But you can donate anything you want if you can afford it seriously.
Steve don't want an orange jumpsuit.
Right, right. Very good. But they've raised over $100,000. Dr. Gary at Children's Hospital, they're working on possible finding a cure for DIPG. They got a couple different things they got to get through the brain stem. I heard some technical stuff and medical stuff. They were talking about it because I saw them again at the Community Foundation in Bethel Park on Saturday. They had the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation booth, so it was always good there. All right, next up, this young man, you'll see his name's Bennett. He was handicapped. He was always smiling. And look at that close-up. There's Bennett. That's the B in always be smiling. And he had 2 kidney transplants. The last one was by his dad, Dean. Kristen and Dean, the mother and father, started Always Be Smiling, another 501c3. Donate what you can afford from $1 or more. And they do different events. They do live events on Montour Trail and other locations. They're always fundraising because they help fund families that have kids that need kidney transplants. They provide resources for them so they can get their kidney transplant. So thank you for all the likes. Over 400 people and friends of mine have liked their page. There are now over 1,200 some likes, and they appreciate it. So they said thank you, and I thank all of you for liking their page too. Next up, 501c3, another one. Look at that pause. Look what Steve did. The Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road, red and white trolleys right out front. You can't miss it. 1905 schoolhouse, been refurbished from top to bottom. They even have a library there. They got yearbooks from each year for high school in Bethel Park. They have a community foundation auditorium. They do events, parties, graduations, weddings, you name it, they do it there. They have Reginald's Coffee, great little coffee shop that has roasted, worldwide known beans from many countries. And they brew it up there in a roaster right in their shop. I like their green tea, but hundreds of people have told me in Bethel Park that their coffee is the best, better than Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and anybody else. Even their home coffee, which they buy. So people have told me that much. So I like the smell of coffee. Don't drink it. But for all you that do, go there and see Matt and Julie. All right. That was a longer pause. All right. There's Uncle Sam with my smiling face. Dave Cable says, I want you for BPTV. Tell them Uncle Al wants you for BPTV. Ran into a high school kid at Community Day. His mother says he's interested in video and audio, and she told him he should go to BPTV. I said, call 412-831-3304. Tell Dave Cable, Alan Levine, the talking machine, said you should work here with us. So we might have a young man coming up soon. We need some volunteers, so come on out if you're in high school and you have any interest in video and audio and posting things online and doing TV shows, you can learn it here. Look, Steve did a great job here. Now he's moved on to bigger and better things. He helps nonprofits for his company. We don't want to explain it because it's above Smokin Jim's pay grade. We won't bother him. But check it out. Again, give us a call, 412-831-3304. All are welcome. Anthony's in the control room doing what he does. Steve's running the cameras, and you saw how good he is. All right. Nice shot again, Steve. You're on fire here. I'm glad you enjoyed the pizza. And the hoagie, too. I thought you took a bite of hoagie. 2. All right, he's ratting on himself now. 8 cuts of pizza, 2 cuts of hoagie, and he's still hungry. He's a growing boy.
He's waiting for dessert.
Yeah, we'll have to go to the pizza shop. I'll buy you a piece of pie right after this show. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has grant money from you, $100 to $5,000. Go to bpcf.org. We just had our meeting last week. We got the Bethel Bounty coming up in November, so stay tuned. There's even prizes. You can win tickets to Bethel Bounty, and you can find out that's our largest fundraiser. It's at Crown Plaza. We have over 300 people there, and there's 21 different businesses that will feed you, and I don't know if I've eaten at all of them. I think I might have missed one, but they're very good. The food's delicious, desserts, you name it. And at Bethel Bakery, Buckeyes are my favorite, so they always have a few extra for the talking machine. But check out the Bethel Bounty.
Did you see my man Mike? Was he at the meeting?
Mike told me, and this is a special thing for Smokin Jim, he said, Smokin Jim told me to say hi. And he told me that I would see him, and I said, tell him I said hi. He goes, well, you'll see him before I will.
Good people.
So, yeah, Mike's the best. He's everywhere. Look what he does.
I met like 3 good people from Bethel Park, all 3 people that I know. Dr. J, you, Mike, good people.
Yeah.
3.
Well, we appreciate you, Smokin Jim. I met one good person from Gateway, and I think his name was Terry Smith. Oh, did I say that out loud? I was just thinking that. Sorry. Well, since we have time to kill with Nick doing a 6-minute segment, what's on my mind is everybody knows I'm a Steeler fan.
Yes, sir.
I love the Steelers, but I'm honest about it. Mm-hmm. Like, I've been critiquing the offensive line. First half of the game, the offensive line made a half a dozen blocks. Trubisky was running out to the right and the left and looked decently. And we had a little bit of a running game. And then the second half, you guys remember last year we had a future Hall of Fame quarterback who was crippled and old? Mm-hmm. How did we look like that team in the second half? That's what I wonder. How did it happen? And last week I was kidding around on our TikTok, and I said, oh, Canada. And I mean it because what was he looking at? He saw the same things in there, and second half we didn't do anything there and went back to, they used to call it the SOS, same old Steelers. I'm reviving something from.
You sure that washed up has-been quarterback that's soon to be a Hall of Famer didn't sneak into the locker room and put on Mitch's jersey?
Well, here's what I'll tell you. He always was oversized in his uniform, and Mitch Trubisky looks like it's a good tight fit on his uniform. I didn't miss that. But I hate to critique him, but I've been watching him each week. And then I hear rumblings players might be disgruntled. Well, Chip and I talked before the show. Steeler management is so slow to react to most things that they aren't going to change an offensive coordinator or get rid of half of the team right now. We only have 3 games in.
Interesting thing I heard on the radio today. The sports director from that radio station, which will remain unnamed, he said that that he's in the locker room every day, and
that's a good sign.
And this theory that the players are disgruntled and it has been blown way out of proportion by the radio talk show hosts.
Whoa!
So don't believe everything you hear or read, because people are pushing forth the narrative that's going to get them retweets, likes, and somebody to look at their page. That's really what they're concerned about, and negativity sells.
Yeah, Chip, you make some great points, but I learned a long time ago I read between the lines, and I know you're a master at that too. What they say and what they do are like 3 different things. Even though it was 2, it's 3 different. So I look in between the lines, and I watch that some of the players are trying, and I see some of the players, I don't know why they're not. And that's part of it. Then,
Think that could be part of the problem.
Well, guess what?
So maybe it's not the system, it's the players?
Well, I leave it up for all of you, because like my dad told me, and I respect him to this day, my dad always said, I don't care who the coach is, you need the horses to win. And I ended up being a horse owner, so I found that I literally and physically, you do need good horses to win. But playing sports, how many teams that win have great players? Because they're producing. How many great players do we have when we saw a great player got hurt and he's supposed to be out 6 weeks? How can our defense, the highest paid defense in the league with Watt, look fantastic? How can we look like we're not now? That's my question. And we're going to go to Fiction and Fact from Smokin Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And I'll repeat, the last 2 weeks I predicted that the Pittsburgh Steelers would get beat.
He's on a streak, folks.
I took a lot of heat
Put your
for that,
money on him now.
But I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers will get this win at home this week against the Jets. And
Are the Jets that bad?
I think the Steelers got their backs against the wall against the Jets, and the Jets is, I think, going to play their inexperienced quarterback. He's going to be a little rusty.
They're not going to play the statue?
They're not going to play Flacco, and that should help the Steelers a lot. And to address the Pittsburgh,
I got my Flacco colors from Baltimore on.
And to address the Pittsburgh Pirates real briefly is...
That's enough.
I know that we're all Pirate fans, but something that Pirates have done that nobody else will ever do in the history of our lifetime is lose 20 consecutive seasons. And the Pirates is on their way to breaking that record yet again. But what's the fiction and fact from Smokin Jim's Almanac is I'm going to go back till Saturday. I've been promising our good friend of the show, Claudio Rosano, the head baseball coach of Carnegie Mellon University, that I would go see his daughter, who's in the Pitt band. And his daughter got me some free tickets for the Rhode Island game. And it just so happens that I was with Pitt from 8 o'clock in the morning. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine. We met out front of the stadium. I don't know the name of it.
Neither do I.
Aki Shore or whatever.
You mean the one on the North Shore?
The North Shore. And I tell you what, I was surrounded by the band. And Al Levine, the talking machine, Pitt has a thing called the majorettes. Okay? And the lady that's in charge of the majorettes, look here, brother. I couldn't take my eyes off of her. She had a diamond ring on her finger that was so big. She had this yellow dress on, brother. And I tell you what, brunette, absolutely beautiful, took charge of her majorettes. Everywhere they went, I went for a while. But it was Parents' Day, the dance with the band. Claudio refused to do it as a dad, but his wife went down and they had rehearsal. That's why I was there so early. And Claudio's wife did a great job down there at halftime dancing with her daughter. Her daughter's the captain of the band. She's a senior. She's going to go to graduate school at Duquesne University. And our friend of the show who said that Facebook is down, Ralph texted me that Facebook is down for some reason. But
we'll have to ask Anthony, is our Facebook stream up or down?
Anthony said
nobody told us that.
Yeah, so Ralph texted me. But Ralph was there.
Put your TV on.
Huh?
You can watch us on TV.
You can watch us on TV. And I'll close it with this. I did leave at halftime right after the performance. I enjoyed the band. The band was great. I enjoyed being at Pitt Stadium or Heinz Field, but I kept my record intact. I got out of there a little early with the free ticket.
Look, a UFO.
I did pull a Batman. I did pull a Batman, brother. But
well, I'm glad you made it to boxing with me, buddy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I had a great time.
No doubt about it.
And there is video evidence that you were there. I saw it. You and Claudio and Ralph.
Nice.
No, that was actually Luther. We look alike. I didn't take a picture with Ralph. That was Luther in that picture. Yeah.
Sure?
Yeah, we all look alike, I know.
Oh.
That's okay. I'm the one without the beard. Luther got a beard.
All right. Thank you, Smokin Jim. We're going to go to trivia time with Chip in 10 seconds.
All right, everybody. So we got some monumental events happening in Major League Baseball right now. Aaron Judge is stuck on home run number 60.
Yeah.
He could tie the American League record for home runs in a season by hitting number 61 anytime between now and the end of the season. Aaron Judge has been trying for a week. I guess he's not getting any pitches to hit, but he's still going to accomplish something this year that I don't think has ever been done. I mean, he very easily could end up with a triple crown.
Yeah, we haven't
winning
seen
the
it
batting,
years.
They haven't seen that since 2012. Miggy Cabrera was the last triple crown winner. But he is leading the league in every single offensive category, which has never been done before.
Right.
The Triple Crown?
The Triple Crown
Explain
is winning
it
any three of the, you win the batting crown, you win the RBI title, you win the home run title.
Oh,
okay.
That ain't hard.
No, that's very difficult.
Yeah, that's why the last time it was done before Cabrera did it was in 1967.
I thought batting average was thrown in there. That would have been good.
That is batting
winning
average.
the batting title. You have to have batting average to win the batting
Oh, that's
title.
the batting title. Oh, that is hard. Okay. I was confused.
But be that as it may, the arguments abound as to who league MVP should be this year.
Right.
There's one school of thought that Aaron Judge deserves to be MVP, unanimous, because of what he's done for the Yankees.
It's historic.
Then there's Shohei Ohtani, who has a pitcher
That's
this
historic.
year, is got over 200 strikeouts.
Wow.
He's hit 35 home runs
Wow.
as a designated hitter. These are things that have never been done before by a pitcher because you know how pitchers can't hit, right?
Right.
That's why they don't get me started. But anyhow, you know, so people were saying that Ohtani last year was the unanimous league MVP. Now,
Right.
the schools of thought are, well, how can you be the league MVP if you're playing on a losing team?
Right.
Okay, because they could be in last place, whether you were performing that well or not performing that well. And look where the Yankees are because of Aaron Judge's production. So we'll leave that argument up to somebody else.
In my opinion, I lean towards a Judge-like guy.
Because
and just to
Ohtani
give
won
you
it last
what my
year,
thoughts.
because of what Judge is doing, I would lean towards Judge. But there is a strong argument
Well,
for
I don't
Ohtani.
want to belittle him because I was a pitcher, so I respect what he's doing as a pitcher. Then as a hitter, I even have more respect.
So, you know, here's the other thing that's going on in baseball, and a milestone was reached over the weekend. Sadly for me, it happened on Saturday because I've got tickets to see the Cardinals play the Pirates next week, and I was hoping that Pujols
Tell
didn't
him.
hit that home because I was going to park myself in the outfield, and I was going for the 700 home run, and I wasn't going to give it back. No, sir. I was going to get PAID. But Albert Pujols hit the home runs number 699 and 700, became the fourth man in Major League history
Yeah.
to hit 700 home runs. He joins Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, now Albert Pujols.
Wow.
He became one of two players in Major League history to have 3,000 hits
Yeah.
and
That's huge.
700 home runs. Now, the difference between his 700 home runs and Hank Aaron's 700 home runs, if you take the 755 home runs that Hank Aaron hit and subtract them from his hit total, he still had 3,000 hits.
Wow.
That's impressive.
So just to give you an idea about what Albert Pujols has accomplished in his career. Career batting average, let's see here. He started in 2001, yes. A highly regarded hitter who long showed a combination of contact hitting ability, patience, and raw power. He was a National League MVP in 2005, 2008, 2009, and an 11-time All-Star, 2001, 2003 through 2010, 2015, and 2022. He's a 6-time Silver Slugger winner who has twice led the National League in home runs. He has also led the National League once each in batting average, doubles, and RBIs, with 14 seasons of 100 or more RBIs.
Wow.
He is one of only 3 players in Major League Baseball history to have topped 22 RBIs in his career. In 2018, Pujols collected his 3,000th career hits. So here's some of his career accomplishments. Career batting average of 296, 3,377 hits, 700 home runs, 2,208 RBIs, 11-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champ, 3-time National League MVP, National League Rookie of the Year in 2001, NLCS MVP in 2004. 2-time Gold Glove Award winner, 5-time Fielding Bible Award winner.
Wow.
I don't know what
I didn't
that
know
is.
what I never heard of that.
6-time Silver Slugger Award, 2-time National League Hank Aaron Award winner.
Wow.
Roberto Clemente Award winner in 2008, National League Batting Champion 2003, 2 times Home Run Leader 2009, 2010, National League RBI Leader in 2010.
Wow.
So,
What a career.
wrapping up a career, and the Cardinals are going to be saying goodbye to 3 long-tenured players, and 2 of them could possibly be considered the best at their positions.
Oh, yeah.
One of them is Albert Pujols, who was probably one of the best first basemen to play the game. You know, the easiest position to play, right?
Yes.
And
Second
he won
was,
fielding awards there. I don't know if you noticed that. You might have fell asleep or
yeah,
something.
and he could throw the ball from first to third instead of into the stands.
Yes.
Next up, Yadier Molina.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the greatest catcher of the last 20 years in the National League. He's going to be hanging him
Sure.
up. And a Pirates nemesis, Adam Wainwright.
Yeah.
We got
Explain that to Smokin Jim.
We have 6 games against the Cardinals to finish out the season. 3 in St. Louis, 3 here. Adam Wainwright, as a starting pitcher, has not lost to the Pittsburgh Pirates since 2012.
That's 10 years.
And this guy does not throw the ball a lick over 88 miles an hour, and he makes people swing like Rusty Gates at his pitches. So, these are some of the things to watch, because when I get home tonight, I'll be watching a Pirate game. I'll watch tomorrow night. I'll watch the St. Louis series, because I'm a student of the game of baseball, and I want to watch these great players have their last hurrah.
Thank you, Chip. All right, we're going to VIP time with Nick. He did another segment for us, so hope you enjoy it. To our Facebook friends that can't hear us, sorry you're missing this.
All right, it's VIP time. I'll give you a couple opinions because I don't have anything massive I want to talk about this week. But the Steelers played this past week, and the Pirates have been playing. So we'll start with the Steelers. Everybody's calling for Matt Canada's head. I don't know if I'm ready to do that yet, but if the players are swarming like they are, and they're getting angry, and they're getting privately but publicly angry, maybe something's wrong. I saw in the first game of the season, it was like the first half against the Bengals, where they were doing a bunch of switch-up plays, and there was he gave a jet sweep to Claypool, who pitched it back to Trubisky, who threw a long pass for long gains that was messing with the Bengals' defense. I think that was something that the offense should continue to do that they haven't been doing in the succeeding games. So, and TJ Watt doesn't help either. I know that his pressure on defense really helps the offense get the ball back. But the trickery that they were doing against the Bengals was not seen against the Patriots and was not seen against the Browns. And losing to the Browns is a no-no in Pittsburgh. So whether Canada's the problem, whether the players are just chirping because they're players, no matter what problems are wrong, the offense needs to get back to doing things that it was doing in that first game, because defenses adapt to the stale plays that the Steelers have been presenting so far. So that's my opinion on the Steelers. I'm not calling for Matt Canada's head quite yet. I'm sure Al is, and everybody else might be struggling to cope with how Matt Canada is doing things. I'm not going to call for his head, but I am going to say something definitely is wrong on that offense and that offensive conference. Moving on to the Pirates, some moves were made earlier in the week that are important. Michael Chavis got designated for assignment among 1 or 2 other players, and I'm kind of sad that he's no longer with the Pirates. I was excited when they traded for him last season, and he was somebody who had a good start with the Red Sox, kind of declined a bit, but it was one of those veteran presences on the Pirates that made me excited to watch Pirates baseball. So the fact that he's not going to be on the team anymore is rather saddening. But I will say this, he has had kind of a decline. He hasn't been as consistent as I think many of us expected him to be. And on top of that, his defense at first base was struggling. And right now, there's a big competition coming at first base that I think Chavis just isn't going to be a part of, because maybe management no longer sees him as the future. Maybe they never saw him as the future of the Pirates. So I was angry at first. I was kind of sad when I saw this. But thinking about it logistically, he's not great playing defense at first base. And on top of that, his production hasn't been consistent, so I'm with that. But a couple things. They made roster room to bring up Jose Godoy, which is interesting. They have faith in this catcher for some reason. I don't know how much faith they have in these guys with Henry Davis and Andy Rodriguez on the way. So we'll see what happens with those 2 catchers and how Jose Godoy kind of fits in to the equation as a catcher moving forward. But a big surprise, maybe not an entire surprise, but it was kind of surprising to me that Miguel Andujar now plays for the Pirates. If you remember, Miguel Andujar was the Rookie of the Year runner-up in 2018 when Shohei Ohtani won it, and Gleyber Torres for the Yankees finished 3rd. But we've got a former contender for Rookie of the Year from the New York Yankees on the team. A couple things scare me about Andujar. Number one, he hasn't played New York very much, so his sample size isn't large. Number two, he struggled with injuries, which is part of the reason why he lost his spot at third base. And he's struggled defensively at third. So he's a bit of a wild card. But some exciting factors are that he has had major success in his past with the New York Yankees. So looking forward, could he rekindle some of that talent while he's coming up on 30? Maybe. And I have optimism, as I usually do, because as a Yankees fan on the American League side, I've watched Andujar and I know that he has potential and that he is a quality player. He's just got to rekindle that, and I'll do it for the Pirates, who claimed him off waivers when he was designated for assignment a bit earlier last week. So it's exciting, but I'm still going to be skeptical about him. I wouldn't get your hopes up on him too much. I think, though, the Pirates are thinking that if they can make him a solid first baseman, because they're not taking Ke'Bryan Hayes out of third base, so if they can make him a good first baseman, he might be a solution to the immediate future of the Pirates at that position. And I mean, again, it was there before with the Yankees. If the Pirates treat it right, which I know they haven't before, so that's where the skepticism comes in, but if they can treat Andujar correctly and get him to be a solid first baseman and get his offense back to where it was in 2018 to 2019, then I do believe that he might be a future piece, a future veteran on this Pirates team that has some hope. There's some things to look forward to with the Pirates. I'm still skeptical about it, though. I was skeptical last year. I'm skeptical this year. And I'll be skeptical until there's some consistent success. Again, we had some success earlier in May when all the veterans were still on the team before they got hurt, and then they got hurt and the young guys came up. The young guys were inconsistent another last year. So we'll see all these players continue to play and get together. But, take Andujar with a grain of salt. You'd be happy that he's on the team now and that he's a household name that used to play for a successful New York Yankees team, but also just keep in mind, hey, there's a reason why he got designated for assignment. So those are my two opinions for this week. Hopefully I'll be back next week, but I don't know when they schedule me at the Fan. It's very much on a no-on-the-day basis. So they called me in yesterday, and that's why I'm not here. But throw it back to Al and the guys now to finish up the show, and hopefully I'll see you next week. This has been VIP Time.
On location, we got Facebook back. Chief says, love King Albert. He has killed the Bucks over the years in the National League. Jim Ellenbogen's watching. Sorry for the little delay in that. The full show will be up later on Facebook and when we cut it for TV. On location, we had a great night in Lighthouse Church on Fisher Street in Southside. This prelim boxing was streaming it live. We filmed the show. It's up on Pittsburgh Sportsline. You can check it out right now. Great night. Smokin Jim and I had a great time. We had a pro boxer, a young lady, nice boxer here, Tika Hemingway, and she was a good play-by-play for a while, so we had some fun with her last night. It was great to have her on. Shout out to Christopher Ralph for hiring us to film and announce. Shout out to Prelim Boxing. My new friend Tony helped me adjust the camera. We had some wire issue on the connection, and he helped fix it up and made it look great. So we had a great night like that. And we're down to the last 3 minutes. I wanted to leave it up to you guys since we heard Nick alluding to that I might want to get rid of Canada, although the Steelers don't get rid of him. I'm willing to see what he can do if the players play better, which I just wanted to clarify that during the preseason, they never really play together. And every first month of the season is like preseason used to be. So we have to get used to it as fans, because then we'll see what happens. What are your thoughts, guys, with the last 2 minutes?
To be honest with you, I think the answers to their problems lie in that locker room and more practice, more coaching, learn the system.
Well, they're
everybody
young.
doing their job. Because I mentioned this to Alan before the show started. I would like to be in the room with the coaches, watching the coaches' tape, and knowing what everybody's responsibility on each play was supposed to be, and then what they actually did. And then you might see where the nature of the problem is, instead of what all of our so-called geniuses seem to think the problem.
Well, one thing to go to another level, playing on the offensive line, when you go and reach out to people and knock them back, that's your play doing your block. When you watch the line and the runner's getting hit 4 and 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, I'll just share that's where they need to improve. The first half, you had them stopping some of the defensive players from doing that. Second half, you did not. So I think it's a combination of both.
Who was missing assignments?
There's both. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's my point. I wanted to clarify what I watched.
And I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch it. You know, I got to get up at 3:30 in the morning, and you know, I work 12, 14-hour days, and getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep at my age, it just doesn't cut it. You know.
Hey, a couple people just tuned in. Mark Richard, hope you're healing up, buddy, getting strong. Thanks for peeking in on Pittsburgh Sportsline. My man, Judge Arnone, congratulations to your back-to-back coaching son, Nick. He did it again in baseball, 2 champions in a row. Way to go. Thanks for tuning in at the end. We're down to the last 30 seconds. Smokin Jim, any final word?
No.
Smokin Jim is on fire. Just unbelievable what he does.
Yeah. Never at a loss for words.
Pete Kasich is watching now. It just notified me. Pete, thanks for tuning in for the last 20 seconds. We always end each show, and thank you all for watching. I appreciate our 801st show. Please stay Joey strong.